Hi guys, welcome back to Lopez, the real estate guy channel. And in this episode, we are going to be looking at how to build an ADU. If you are a homeowner, if you have a garage, and you live in California, then you can legally convert your garage into an accessory dwelling unit, or as they call it, an ADU in California. Now, what this will do is appreciate your home in value by the thousands. And I converted my garage 2 years ago here in Santa Clarita. And we can start off by talking about the fact that there are many different conversions that can take place. You can convert a detached ADU, you can build a studio on top of a garage, but in today's episode we're going to talk about an attached dwelling unit. So here's a video, and this is a video of my garage. Say hello. And that is my fiance there. This was a garage which was used previously as a workshop or for storage. And when Lizzie and I purchased this home 2 years ago, the first thing I had in mind was to eventually convert this garage, because I feel that there is value. I feel that there is more value in converting a garage and making it a living space, especially with what we have in California with a shortage of living space for our residents. Here are other pictures. It was a standard 2-car garage. Here's a view from the outside. And from across the street, as you can see there in the yellow, the first thing you want to do is look at your finances. These typical ADUs, if they are converted and they are attached, they tend to be less costly because you have to run the utilities, which are the gas, the water, and the electricity. And so you are going to have less cost up front, just because the utilities are so close to each other, being that they are attached. So I looked at my own budgeting, and how much money did I budget for? I had $20,000 in savings. I was expecting at least $7,000 in taxes. I was prepared to take out a loan for $15,000 at about 6.5%. And I also had some credit cards that I could use to fund this project. What type of money are you going to need when you're financing? That is the first thing that you want to do. And also get an estimate for how much this project is going to cost, because you don't want to be stuck in a situation where you're going to have to pay more, or you don't want to be stuck in a situation where you're done with half of the project and run out of money. So it's very helpful for you to have a cost estimate breakdown, which you see here, with the foundation or footing being about $6,000, the framing $4,000, the mini split $4,000, the plumbing $9,000, electrical $9,000, insulation $3,000, the stucco $4,000, and the drywall being about $7,000. And we move on to page number 2, which is the breakdown here with the wood flooring, the bathrooms, the interior, the paint, the kitchen cabinets, the trash pickup, the trenching, the roofing, the drafting up of the plans with permits, I had a contractor come and give me an estimate, and it came up to about $99,000, which was 2 years ago. And mind you, the cost of materials has gone up drastically in the past 2 years. The first step is finding out whether or not you can actually build your garage and convert it into an ADU. And the first stop would have to be looking for a architect, a designer, a drafter that can put together a design for what the layout will look like for your converted space. And here, as you can see, I decided that I wanted an open space, not a one bedroom, but more of a studio type look with an open floor plan. I have a bath with a kitchen, a living room space, and a bedroom space with a closet. And after these plans, you also want to make sure that you speak to your drafter and find out if there is any zoning issues with the building of your garage. Drafting up the plans cost about $3,000, and as you can see, I'm going to be looking, as I'm walking you through this, I'm going to be rounding off the numbers so it's a little bit easier to process. And the permits for the City of Santa Clarita Valley ended up being about $1,300. So in total, I was looking at about $4,000 in pricing with drafting out the plans, getting permission from the city, and then getting started with my project. There are two options available for you. You can either decide that you are going to be the one responsible for the building of this accessory dwelling unit, or you can give your permission to a contractor to then construct this ADU for you. I decided that I wanted to be in charge. It was important for me to be in charge of this process so that I can learn the phases and the different parts that go into the building of an ADU. The first thing we want to do is take the garage and demolish everything down to the studs. You will still have the framing, you will still have the roofing. Many people think that when they want to convert a garage that they can still keep the drywall and the paint and the plumbing. But unfortunately, everything has to be cleared out. And the city is then going to be looking at you build and put together all of the plumbing, all of the electrical, all of the gas, all of the sewage, step by step by step. The cost for me I believe that I got pretty lucky, and I found someone that was able to completely demolish and take out all of the drywall, all of the wiring, and all of the other parts that were in the garage that may have been bolted down. And the cost was about $400. One thing that you're going to want in your ADU is air conditioning. It is super hot in California, so you're going to need what's called a mini split, which is an air conditioning unit. I was lucky enough to get an air conditioning unit for $2,000. So you pay $1,000 up front, and then that would handle the rough part of the mini split installation. And then once the project is finished, your AC guy would come in, and your HVAC person would come in and go ahead and install the actual unit that goes inside of the home. So the price for that was about $2,000. I was quoted at $4,000, so I saved a bit of money with the guy that I decided to go with. And this is what the rough installation looks like inside of the garage. It has the wiring for the cooling. As you build your home and you are looking at the plumbing, these were cuts that were made so that the sewer line would be running from the two important parts, one being the bathroom and the other part being the kitchen. Typically, the cost just to cut these lines cost about $2,000 just to make the cuts, and that doesn't include the actual sledgehammer that you would have to use to cut into the cement and take the actual cement out. So this can be pretty costly. And as you can see here, this is the kitchen, and the water and sewer line, as you can see there, that goes out to the city. You're going to need a lot of pipes. You're going to need copper pipes and ABS pipes, as well as other types of pipes. And if I get anything wrong here, I'm sure there's a lot of experts that are going to be correcting me. But you're going to need pipes for your toilet. You're going to need pipes for your shower, your washer and dryer, your kitchen, your sink, your bathroom sink. So as you can see here in the pictures, we have the ABS pipes, these black 4-inch pipes that are then placed in the lines, and we have one that runs through the shower and the other one that's running all the way to the toilet. As you can see here, it's running all the way to the toilet. You're going to also need windows. So here we have window number 1 that is framed. So they needed to break the stucco as well as the framing, break into the stucco and the framing and reframe so that 2 windows would be provided for this particular ADU. And of course the front entrance, and this is the door for the future studio, and this is the exterior look. Something that ended up being costly that I don't think that I could have imagined. Part of the foundation is to have footings in all 4 sides, and if you're building an ADU, chances are you will only need to place a footing that is about 1 foot deep right at the garage door. Now that might not be the same for you, but that's what ended up being the cost for me. And the cost was about $6,000 to get a footing for one area. Part of the framing process also involved putting up a shear wall, taking down that garage door, and the framing. The framing ended up costing me about $4,000. You need framing. You need framing in the bathrooms. You need framing in the ceiling. You need framing for the closet. You need framing for the windows. You need framing for the door. And the shear wall where you had your garage, you also need framing there as well. One thing that we had to find was the sewer line. As you can see here, we found the sewer line, and that was thanks to the folks at the Los Angeles Department of Building and Safety in Santa Clarita, and they helped us locate it. They gave us a drawing for absolutely free. This would normally cost you about $600 just to find the sewer line that you would attach to your studio. And so we were looking for that water line. We started trenching. We started to trench, and we dug about 4 feet deep, looking and still looking. The dirt started to pile up, and we were still looking and not finding exactly what we were looking for. My home was full of dirt, piles and piles and mounds of dirt. We were looking for that sewer line that we could then attach to our ADU. Mind you, this project cost thousands and thousands of dollars, and I, with my brother, decided that we were going to look for this sewer line. Lo and behold, we found the water line, which was fantastic because we needed to have that water line running to our ADU. And there is a video, there is a picture there of my brother who helped me a lot in this process. We actually found the sewage line, which was made out of clay, which is rare. But nonetheless, we found the sewer line, and what we then ran a pipe all the way to our ADU. So once the lines are run, once you have the line running from the sewage and you have your water line and your sewer line running to the garage, an inspector comes from the city and checks to make sure that everything is in place, and we are then cleared to place cement over the lines. The washer dryer hookups, I strongly recommend putting a washer and dryer in your ADU out of convenience. We live in convenience in this day and age, and it's important to have those types of amenities. There were two places I went to the most. One of them being Lowe's for sink, bathroom cabinets, kitchen cabinets as well. We have the electrical was also a big part of the project. Recess lights were put up. Outlets were also installed, as well as switches. Now the estimate was about $9,000 for this type of job, but I managed to find a very hardworking electrician. He charged me $6,000 for the project, saving me about $3,000. I strongly recommend no one trying to do the electrical part of this project, with the exception of a trained and licensed electrician. You do not want your house to go on fire, so please do your due diligence. A very small project which we had, which was a DIY project, was to place Redgard, which is about $60 at Home Depot. We needed about 3 gallons worth, and again, Home Depot, Lowe's, those were our two places where we went to the most. We did this project on our own. I actually did this project with my beautiful fiance. And Redgard actually is for waterproofing and crack prevention for your ADU. We then began our insulation, which is very important. You want your home to stay. We need proper insulation. If you look at your plans will tell you exactly what type of insulation you need to purchase. For us, it was the R19 insulation type for the walls that needed to be placed around all 4 walls. And here's a video of me. If you're going to do this project, make sure to wear protective gear, make sure to wear goggles, long pants, long sleeves, as well as gloves, so that you are protected against that fiberglass, which can irritate the skin. We have an insulation type of R30, which was required for us to place on our ceilings. Again, the ceiling types might be different for you. The insulation types might be different for you. And then we began our shear walls. We placed shear walls all across the studs. This was a lengthy process, but nonetheless, we were able to get those walls up and installed. We then installed the door. Now, I didn't install the door. I purchased the door for $300 and then placed it on the back of a pickup truck. I then hired someone for $100 to install the door, so the total for me was $400. Could have been a lot more. And then we also needed window installation. So flashing is the first thing that you want to place on these windows to protect it from rain and wind. We also have lath that we place on the windows and stucco patching. And that is a before and after picture. We then place drywall all the way around as well as mudding. This is actually a picture of the garage door. This is the kitchen area, the bathroom area, and the drywall and mudding was estimated at a cost of about $7,000, and we did it for about $3,500. Now, you're going to need a pickup truck because these drywalls are pretty big. So I was in luck that I had someone that I knew that I could go and buy the type of drywall that was needed. And then we had primer and paint placed, along with recessed lighting. And paint cost is quite high. We're looking at the exterior of the garage as well as the interior of the garage with 2 coats and primer being about $9,000. But if you buy your own paint and you decide that you want to be a painter like myself, $4,000, that's a $5,000 savings. The shower cost, this was a $700 shower door that I purchased, and the installation was about $200 or $300. The installation was about $300, making the total about $1,000 to install a shower. Now, a shower can run $2,000, $4,000, maybe even $6,000, but I decided to go with something a little bit more budget friendly. And we have our kitchen cabinets and countertops, which were pretty basic. It's pretty basic for a small studio. $6,000 was the estimate, and we did it for about $2,500. These kitchen cabinets were from Lowe's and were very cost efficient. The butcher block cost about $250, and that was also cost efficient, as well as the sink. The 4-foot butcher block at Lowe's for $260 that you see there. This here, in this project, we really weren't sure what to do because we were thinking about getting a stackable washer and dryer. And I thought it might be best to have the washer and dryer under the counters to save space so that you can have more counter space. These washer and dryers are the smallest that you can purchase that run effectively. These are LG washer and dryers, which I found off of OfferUp. They were about $350 each. I recommend, if you're going to use someone from OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace, make sure that they have fantastic reviews. You don't want to get something that doesn't work, especially if it's going to be heavy to deliver. We then installed the ceramic tile. The underlayment we needed to place down for the flooring, and the wood flooring along with the molding, which goes all with the molding and the trim that goes around the perimeter of the studio. The estimated cost was about $5,000, and it actually only ended up costing about $2,000. My brother and I, we put the wood paneling, put the wood flooring in together, so we saved quite a bit of cost on that. Now, how long did this project take is probably going to be a question being asked, and it took about 10 months from beginning to end, from the moment that I reached out to a drafter to the moment where the inspector signed off on the home. It took about 10 months. Now let's look at the cost breakdown. So for the foundation and the footing, which was about $6,000, it ended up costing about $5,500. The framing cost $4,000. It ended up being $4,000. The mini split, I was able to find someone that came in a little bit cheaper, which was fantastic. And the pricing for that was $2,000. The plumbing was slashed from $9,000 to $5,000, and I believe that because we were the ones actually looking for the sewer line as well as the water line, and running that sewer and water line to the garage ended up saving us quite a bit of money. The electrical, as I said before, you want to get an electrician. You want to make sure the electrician is licensed. Even with that, I still ended up saving about $3,000. The electrician I used was fantastic. The insulation, as I said, I put it in myself. It ended up costing about $1,500. The stucco ended up being $2,500. The drywall was $3,500. The wood flooring, the molding, the trim, and the casing was $2,000. The bathroom shower, the toilet, the vanity, the tiling that went into the bathroom was $2,500. The interior and exterior paint that was used was $4,000. The windows and the door installation was $1,000. The kitchen cabinets, the countertops, the backsplash was $3,000. So the total so far is about $45,500. But we do have a page 3 here. So the trash removal, that ended up being huge amount of savings. We didn't have to get a porta potty rental. We didn't have to get equipment rental. We didn't have to get trash removal. I ended up purchasing a dumpster for about $600. Ended up dumping everything that was trash into that dumpster, and it ended up saving us quite a bit of money. The trenching and the laying down of the cement, we did ourselves, so that was $1,000. The roofing and ventilation was about $1,000. The drafting plans and the permits were about $4,000, with a grand total of $52,500. Easy math, it was about half the price. Now, mind you, I had the summer off, which gave me a lot of free time, and I was able to quarterback this project and do my due diligence, do my homework. I hope that if you are a homeowner, you have a garage, and you live in California, and you need some help with how to get started on an ADU project, please contact me. I am free to talk about anything from A to Z in regards to your ADU building needs. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you got something out of this, and I am now going to show you the actual finishing project. So here you go, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care and have a great rest of the day. Bye, guys.